Good afternoon and welcome to High Street Queanbeyan, where once again the skies are blue and once again we're set for a cracking match. It's a repeat of the Han Australia Cup qualifying final. Queanbeyan City, the home team, against Canberra Croatia. My name's Russ Gibbs. Joining me up here on top of the shipping container is none other than Canberra Olympics coach Frank Keisha. Frank, welcome once again. Atmosphere around the grounds building quite nicely. These two teams met only a few weeks ago in the Cup final. There wasn't a lot in it that day, but when I go through the lineups coming up, it will be something short of a minor miracle if Queanbeyan City can come away with a win today.
Yeah, thanks, Russ. Cracking day, and you're right. There's a lot of people here today. I couldn't even get a park in my usual spot. I had to find one on the side of the road, which was sort of tells a bit of a story. Good news is for anyone watching at home from last week, we did get our thick shakes.
We did. We got the strawberry thick shake before. Oh my goodness me! Been struggling with a throat myself this week, so it was such a soothing presence to have that on there. Much like standing next to you on here, mate. It's always a soothing presence, isn't it? Absolutely. Let's have a look at these teams then, Frank, before we get into the lineup. Let's mention the ones that aren't here for Queanbeyan City. Nick Middleton, the goalkeeper, unavailable today, left out of the lineup. Marko Savkovic will be on the bench, the midfield maestro, but they are missing Nico Abbott, Nawal Guerrero, Gabriel Ayul, Harrison Palic, Thomas Blazewski, and Johnny Haidu, as well as Middleton and Savkovic on the bench. As I say, that is a significant absence list for Queanbeyan City.
Yeah, that's massive, isn't it, Russ? And I think obviously it gives an opportunity for some players to step up, but I think Goran will be looking at his lineup thinking what could have been if he had the full complement available.
There's a debut for young Finn Beasley in goal, a baptism of fire for the youngster perhaps, forthcoming against the league's top scorers. And there's a debut up top for Abdulrahim Delahi, a player that we've seen before play in the Capital Premier League. He scored plenty of goals in the Capital Premier League, in Queanbeyan City colours at some stage as well, didn't he, in their promotion campaign?
We commentated one of their games last year, or a couple of their games last year, and I was quite impressed with him, Russ. He's got a lot of pace, and look, for the guys coming in, I think they're, I know this might sound contradictory, but it's almost like a really good opportunity and a free shot because they're playing a team where there's not the expectations that they'll probably have if they were playing a team lower down on the table. This is really just a free hit for these guys, and they can put their best foot forward. And if they do well against the best team in the comp, then it goes well for the rest of the season for them.
For Queanbeyan City, the good news is that Thomas James in the Canberra Croatia colours only makes the bench. Once again, the bad news for them is that Marko Jadric is his replacement, and more than adequate replacement up top in the front three that will see Frank Daniel Sparrow alongside Max Green. Daniel Sparrow in particular has been in incredible form this season in front of goal. Before the start of this campaign, his goal tally, well, wasn't that great. It was 9 goals in his total. 6 league goals already this season and 3 in the Cup. What do you put down that change in terms of his goal output? It can't just be that he's moved further up top the park.
Oh, it doesn't hurt. I mean, I've coached Daniel a few times, and I think I actually brought him across from Belconnen to Olympic when I did, because he was actually played up front and he didn't want to play there. So I brought him back into his more sort of traditional 6 position, and he excelled there. And obviously he's had a great stint there for a few years at Olympic, and then at Tigers, and now at Croatia. But look, he's got ability, and I think when you've got the likes of the players that he's got around you, the Colpataldos and the Kiers and the Jadrics of the world, and obviously the players that he's had, on the wings as well, that helps you get into good positions and opportunities that will come. But I guess the other thing is, if you're the opposition coach and you're looking at Max Green and Pratazina and that, you probably, do you put more attention on them than you do on someone who might be playing a bit more of a false 9 type position?
For those of you with a long memory, you were there, you remember it quite well. Daniel Sparrow played close to a false 9 in that famous Canberra Olympic win over Gungahlin United when he got himself, I think it was a treble, wasn't it, in 7-2 at the AIS. He got himself a couple of goals that day at least.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
playing in that kind of role. I think it might have been a hat-trick.
Yeah, you know what?
You were definitely there.
I was definitely there because I was the one cursing after about 30 seconds. We were 1-0 down.
Riley Angelo Santi scored that goal, if
yeah,
memory serves me well.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, that was a real turning point. I think that was one of the games that I think I said to you, I think we could have played pretty much most NPL teams in the country and given them a bit of a shake that day. We were just on, and I remember like we gave a roll to Jay Kelly on Josh Kaspari, and it just worked a treat. So, look, that was one of the days. But we know that Daniel's got that capability. And the other thing is, you could probably do the same thing with Cole Pataldo. You could probably put him in that position that Sparrow's deploying, and even swap him around. And Daniel will have 6 or 7 goals to his name as well.
O'Connor Knights versus Monero Panthers is game number 2 today. That kicks off at 3 o'clock over at O'Connor Enclosed. A debut for Connor Minott-Smith in Monero Panthers colours. Well, I say a debut. A second debut, if you like, for him having been there against his former team, of course, football quirk of fate there. Yeah,
a couple of quirks of fate, isn't there? I mean, there was Lookman last week. He goes from O'Connor Knights to Tigers, and then all of a sudden we're playing each other the first week. And now Minott-Smith comes back from Melbourne and he's playing against his old club at Knights for Monero.
If the Knights win today and result goes away, we expect it to here this afternoon, and Croatia do get the 3 points, O'Connor can find themselves 4th at the end of play today. Considering they beat Tigers 2-1 last week, if they got a result today for O'Connor Knights, would we say it's a resurgence in form from them, or could we say it's just fortune? Well, how would you approach that?
I think it's probably got to do more with the levelness of the competition after that sort of top 3, to be honest. I was talking to a couple of people today, and it's like, for me, it's Canberra Croatia are top, and there's a bit of daylight between them and Monero and Tigers, and then there's a bit of daylight again between Tuggeranong and Queanbeyan City and alike. But any of those teams could step up, and if all it would take was 3 or 4 positive results in a row, like 3 wins in a row on the bounce, and O'Connor are sort of in that position where they've beaten Tigers last week. Tuggeranong had a win Tuggeranong went down to Monero last week, but all it would take was 3 wins in a row, and all of a sudden you're right in the mix for top 4. I mean, I wouldn't even rule out Ugali at the minute, because they were playing well enough that I thought that they could get some results. I know you've said they've probably lost some players now as well, but this transfer window has really sort of shaped some of the season.
Yeah, they have lost Joey Seo and Jace Dotson, 2 imports. Jace Dotson, their leading scorer as well. So we'll talk more about them tomorrow. Let's have a look at these 2 teams then, starting in the Queanbeyan City. Goran Jozefovski goes with a 4-2-1-3 formation. Finn Beasley starts in goal on debut for Queanbeyan City. We wish the youngster well. Jack Leverett at right back, Noah Vanderpot left back, Christian Tokic partners Armani Lavella, who makes the first start for Queanbeyan City, having moved over from Knights to 23s during the transfer window. Takuya Miyabayashi and Daniel Roberts partner in front of that back four. Mishko Namoski is handed the role as the furthest forward midfielder. Seth Bonnet on the right, Abdulrahim Deli on the left, in the middle rather, and Samuel Abbott on the left. It is an unusual and under-strength Queanbeyan City outfit. Stephen Kreskas, Charlie Ray, Vasco Petrovski, Samuel Palic and Marko Savkovic are the substitutes. Frank, it's an outfit which is full of youngsters and full of promise, but up against a pretty good team I'll go through in a moment.
Yeah, and I guess, when you spoke to me earlier about the outs, I think the one thing for me was he's actually got a pretty good lineup there considering the amount of players he's got out. I think Goran's he's done a great job this year. He's done a great job over a number of years here at Queanbeyan City, and I think that sort of shows now that he's even got some depth there, that when he has a handful of players out, he can still put a competitive lineup out.
Canberra Croatia, Jason Matesha starts in goal. Sam Brown, having vacated the club, now moved to Sydney. Tony Spaseski on the right, Riley Souza on the left, Jack Parachkalan alongside Matt Gerbisher in the centre of defence. Ryan Keir, Daniel Kolbatado and Keegan Vucetic are the midfield three. Up top, Max Green, Daniel Sparrow and Marko Jadric. On the bench, the free scoring and top assist maker in Thomas James, Nikola Subasic, Daniel Subasic, a return for Nikola Jadric and Michael Piccolo, who signed from Monero Panthers in the window. Frank, it is a formidable outfit.
It's a fair lineup, isn't it, Russ? Look, I think they're just oozing confidence, and the thing is for Queanbeyan City, they've just got to hang in the game as long as they possibly can and see if they can frustrate Canberra Croatia. I think if you're looking at this purely on paper, I think Canberra Croatia should be heavy favourites.
Until about 10 a.m. this morning, Finn Beasley thought he was playing under 23s, Frank. He thought he was going to be in between the posts against a quite potent under 23 attack. Come 3 o'clock this afternoon, here he is strolling out on debut for Queanbeyan City in the Premier League up against Max Green, Daniel Sparrow, Marko Jadric et al.
Well, let's see how he goes at 3 and see if he wishes he was still playing 22. He'll be right. We wish him all the best, and it's great to see youngsters getting their first game in NPL level.
Do you think, I'm neither of us are a goalkeeper, right? Do you think you're better off knowing yesterday? Or you're better off just going to bed last night, solidly sleeping because you're like, it's okay, I'm playing 23 tomorrow, and then finding out in the morning?
I don't know. Look, goalkeepers are a rare breed, aren't they? I mean, I've been blessed with having some really good goalkeepers in my teams, and they are very unique in the way they think. So, I don't know. I mean, for me, I would like to know that I'm playing the night before and prepare for that. I don't know how much I would have slept, but...
Talk about young up-and-coming players and officials. Jordan King in the middle today for this one. Casey Fleal and Lachlan Lee Chiang are his assistants. A good young referee, Jordan King.
Yep.
We'll go through the usual check the nets and make sure we don't kick off at 3 p.m.
Do the teams come out on time today, Ross?
I think Queanbeyan were a little bit tardy.
There you go.
I mean, this isn't the Premier League. You're not going to be fined £1 million like Manchester City were. Did you see that in the week?
No.
They were late for 11 kickoffs for the second half last year.
So they can organise fines and retribution for that, but not the 115
Apparently
charges.
so, yeah. So £1 million they got fined for being late for 11. So if they were late for 11 games the second half, it's £1 million. I wonder what the 115 charges are going to be. It's going to be amazing, isn't it? You can watch Manchester City if you care at the Club World Cup. Which has been the topic of some conversation around the world, and not many people are really into it, are they?
If you care.
Yeah. I mean, do you care about the Club World Cup? You're struggling to care, aren't you?
Not a jot.
Yeah, there's not many that are.
No,
the South American teams are enjoying it, though.
I was quite amused with the Flamingo social media posts targeting Chelsea after their 3-1 win early this morning, though.
The South American sides seem to be enjoying it. Boca Juniors, I was watching this morning against Bayern Munich. And they were loving it, their fans. They weren't loving the results. What will Queanbeyan City's vocal supports? Down on numbers today, not quite as noisy as they normally were. There's usually a pile of them in front of the canteen. I'm sure they will pick up a little bit later.
Yeah, if they get a lead, you'll hear them, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah,
or if they're still in the match with a few minutes to go, you'll hear them.
Once they've had 1 or 2 drinks, I'm sure they'll be fine. Here's the Mosky out wide to Seth Bonnet. Looking for Delahaye's offside. Timely return for Abdurrahim Delahaye in the absence of Nico Abbott.
Has he been out injured, has he?
He's been away. He hasn't been playing at all. Okay. He's just signed in the transfer window.
Right.
Was playing with White Eagles, I understand. Or one of those in the CPL. But Nico Abbott pulled a hamstring, scoring his back heel last week. Sparrow. Jadric. Czech Prague Cullen. 6 league games at High Street this season. Queanbeyan have only lost once. 1-2 defeat to Tigers. They've won 1 and drawn the other 4. Here's Sparrow. Brought down by Roberts' first free kick. Canberra Croatia have won 5 matches in succession. They've scored 23 goals in that time and conceded only 4.
Last week we saw a keeper given a debut for Monero, and I don't think Tuggeron tested him anywhere near as much. I was just wondering if Daniel Cobaltaldo is going to pull the trigger here and test the young keeper really, really early on.
Looks like he fancies it, does Cole Bataldo. Scored that rocket of a free kick just over the way at Strider Park in midweek a fortnight ago.
Chasing in if I was Max Green or looks like Pratazino or something.
Inside 2 minutes, Cole Bataldo to have a dip. Always over the crossbar, nothing to test Finn Beasley there. It was a fairly good free kick that Daniel Cobaltaldo hit at the Riverside.
It was one of those ones. I mean, I was watching it at home, and definitely got me out of my seat.
Christian Tokic to send it forward towards Bonnet. Got past the first challenge of Riley Souza. Miyabayashi. One back in midfield. Sparrow. That's a really important intervention by Armani Lavella. Otherwise, Max Green might have been in. Big day for him as well, the big central defender.
Yeah, it'll be a big day for Tokic now. He takes on that senior role as a centre-back as well.
Bonnet in towards Delahaye. Got a bishop with the tidy little clearance. Ryan Keir.
Generally, Tokic has been partnering Guerrero, and even last year, or last few years at O'Connor Knights would have been like Lockie Fields. Lockie Fields?
Lockie Fields.
Lockie Fields. I think it's his birthday today too.
Lockie Griffiths moved.
Yeah, he went to
away
Marconi
a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they're both in Sydney. He's got to assume the role as that senior partner here in that centre back pairing.
Here is Armani Lavella, 2 Christian Tokic and Daniel Roberts. The 3 of them, all former O'Connor Knights players. Skips off the surface ahead of Mishko Nomoski. Wearing the skipper's armband today. The midfielder, 307th time he's played in the NPL. Matt Bishop.
Am I right thinking that Lavella's only just come back from Italy as well, from the holiday, family holiday? I know.
Absolutely,
yeah,
they've been away. Excuse me.
Great ball.
Matt Gudabich has switched the play. Over the head of Leverett's, Marko Jadric. Wants to whip it into the danger area. Max Green was the target. A confidence-boosting touch, though, for Finn Beasley. Canberra Croatia will find out on Wednesday night who they will play in the Han Australia Cup round of 32. The draw's on at 7:30.
It's always a good fun night.
Football Australia's YouTube channel, waiting to see who they will draw. Good throw that, and Bonnet's got in behind here, an opportunity. Couldn't pick out the run of Nomoski. ABBA might get there first, though. He does, Sam ABBA. Mishka Nomoski. ABBA again. Nomoski went down, nothing doing there. Miyabayashi comes in to snappily win it back.
He's really built into his season, hasn't he, Miyabayashi?
He's been tidy import.
Yep, but now becoming more influential at the club too. Russ, you can see in the performances.
Well, that's a poor clearance by Lavella, and it's presented the opportunity for Max Green to have a run. Run straight into Lavella. Made sure he didn't go anywhere on Lavella.
Yeah, he's lucky to get away with it.
I think because the contact was initiated by Max Green, he might have well have got away with it. How much are they going to miss Marko Savkovic's presence today, Frank?
Yeah, well, I think last week, I think I said to you, I think he's the barometer for Queanbeyan City. If he's going well, then Queanbeyan City are generally going well.
He's on the bench, might be needed later on. Was sent off last week against Gungahlin United. For those of you that followed the game, it was 2-2 here. Savkovic received a straight red card towards the end of that game. However, upon review, it was rescinded. The referee admitted they made a mistake. Here's Jadric. Max Green, when it went through him. He has delivered, though. Radi Souza. Vucetic to lift it into the box. Queanbeyan just struggling to clear. I'll bring you news of a goal in a moment.
Just needs to be a bit mindful of his hands there. Lavella, young man. Sparrow went down the box. Just need to be a bit careful.
Here's Max Green.
This is a good matchup with Green on Vanderpoel.
First goal of the afternoon's gone in at O'Connor Enclosed. O'Connor Knights 0, Monero Panthers 1. We'll bring you news of the goal scorers when we get them. Not the start that the Knights would have wanted, though, Frank. Daniel Sparrow slow to pick himself up.
It's Lavella again. He's definitely putting himself about, young man.
Here is Armani Lavella.
I'm sure his dad, Tony, will be watching with interest, and be a very proud moment. I know that he got his debut at O'Connor Knights last year, but yeah, Tony's got obviously James and Armani now, and Sam, his eldest, played a fair few first-grade games for Monero as well back in the day.
Still plays now occasionally when I commentate, doesn't he? James Lavella.
No, Sam.
Yeah,
Sam.
no, I called James Sam a couple of times in commentary. I think it was last year.
Oh, confusing me, Ross.
Yeah, when he made his breakthrough, James Lavella, having commentated on Sam a few times. I can tell you Fernando has scored the goal at O'Connor. 6 minutes in, Panthers lead. Challenge from ABBA. As it stands, that means they'll close the gap on Canberra Croatia to 5 points. To 6 points, rather. should it stay this way. Queanbeyan City could do their near neighbours a favour this afternoon if they could get 3 points from this one. Them and the rest of the league, of course. Here's Namoski looking for Delahi. Parach Cullen came over.
The other thing with introducing new players, especially when they're en masse, it sometimes gets a bit difficult for coaches to do their homework. So they probably wouldn't have done too much homework on Delahi, and Abba's only played a handful of minutes pretty much. And I've been impressed with Bonnet. I think he's been very good.
Here's Marko Jadric, Keegan Vucetic, Tony Spaseski, who copped a little bit when he was walking in the ground today about playing for the wrong team. Here he goes again, Spaseski on the overlap. Macedonian heritage himself, of course. Wins his team their first set piece of the afternoon in terms of a corner. Daniel Colbertado, who took the earlier free kick, will go across to take. Parach Cullen up from the back. Ryan Keir in there as well. Both goals Ryan Keir scored this season have come from headers. This is Colbertado into the near post. Well, the glorious chance for Parach Cullen, might have done better.
Yeah, difficult situation there for the keeper, looking right into the sun by the looks of things. Put his hands up to shield it.
Did he catch too much of it? Parach Cullen. Lesser header perhaps, and he might have found the net.
Interesting thing coming up now for Canberra Croatia is you're going to get a real window into their finals. He's offside.
Wasn't given Bonnet.
No, Abba was offside. With the finals coming up, the next couple of months, Canberra Croatia will do everything they possibly can to play what Dean will believe is his best 11 in that round of 32. So it gives us a real indication of what he's thinking, because he's able to play 6 or 7 different combinations, either in midfield, back line, bringing Subasic, either one of the Subasics up front. You've got Jadric up there today with Sparrow and Green. You've got TJ to come back in. You've got Pratazina. I think this will be this round of 32 will be a real opportunity for the rest of the clubs in Canberra to see who Dean thinks his best 11 is.
Nick Pratazina not in the squad today.
Right.
I wonder if he's injured.
Maybe. I doubt very much he'll be on form because he's been producing.
He's been doing okay.
Yeah.
I think they could say. Here's Roberts. Leverett. The longer they can keep this goalless or better.
Yeah, I was just thinking if they can navigate their way through the first 15 minutes, then hopefully the game can settle in a little bit.
Well, you asked the question, how would Finn Beasley be feeling at 3:10? And quite comfortable is the answer so far.
I bet you he's not that comfortable, Russ. I think he's still probably a bit nervous.
A little bit twitchy, I think.
Here we go. Let's see how nervous he is. Come on, young man. Yeah, good enough.
Finds Tokic. 100% pass completion rate for the goalkeeper so far. Bonnet started brightly. Parach Cullen sticking to him and getting away. He's had the best chance so far, Jack Parach Cullen. Marko Jadric, that's a bit handsy from Christian Tokic.
Crowd's starting to build, Russ.
Yeah, more and more people coming in. Quite a lot of them were eating outside. I mean, they're not allowed to bring food and drink in here today unless you're obviously the King of Malta. In which case you can bring in your...
I said it was Sir Russ Gibbs. He goes, I'll pay for them.
Van der Pol. One by Colbertaldo. Green to take on and run. And wins a free kick as well. Little shirt pull.
Yeah, he's brought that element of physicality to his games, Max Green, whether that was the season away in Sydney that helped him with that, but he's definitely puts himself about.
Can't really play in the New South Wales NPL as a shrinking Violets, can you? You'll be found out pretty quickly. Daniel Colbertaldo, well, he's had one from Central, one from the corner flag, and this one somewhere in between.
You just wonder whether you'd be putting someone like Abbo in the actual box to pick up a player. He's tall. You could put someone a bit
Well, he's the flimsiest one-man wall at the moment. Colbertaldo to lift it into the area. The spectacular acrobatic volley was Parach Cullen again. Headed one wide earlier. Had a Ibrahimovic-style effort there. If he'd volleyed that in, he might have just been off down the river and not coming back. Chance on the other side. Swung into the danger area, met by Tokic. Vucicic with the ball. Now the break is on for a former Canberra Croatia player in Noah van der Poel. Looking to link up with Bonnet.
Bonnet actually got himself in a pretty good position there with the made the defender really think about it.
Noah van der Poel, one of those players who was unfortunate to be at Canberra Croatia at the same time as some of the more storied forwards in Canberra.
Oh,
Colbertaldo won the ball.
I think it was pretty solid, yeah.
You could hear it from here.
Yeah.
I think the follow-through might have caught Abdurrahim Delahi.
Well done there by Lavella.
Just to go back to that point of Noah van der Poel, though, Frank, I mean, he was unfortunate to come through at a time when Stephen Dominici, Daniel Barac were dominating there as well. Mate Busic was part of it, wasn't he?
Yep.
And then Nick Pradajina's come through, and
they signed Lookman the year after as well.
And he was just, I wouldn't say surplus to requirements, but they just couldn't fit him in.
Yeah, and it makes it difficult for the young guys.
But he's found his niche at Queanbeyan City, albeit as a left back in the system that they're supposed to be playing today. Although he has been a bit further forward than that so far. Licensed to roam, perhaps.
Yeah, I get the feeling that Goran does try to get them forward. Like even last week against, who were we commentating on last week over here? Gungahlin. That's right. I seem to be spending every Saturday afternoon at High Street, Russ.
I've done a fair few down here now. It has been a few. Jacob Clear is over at O'Connor Enclosed this afternoon. You'll be there tomorrow. Tuggeranong United, National Premier League.
Yep.
Women's competition. Tuggeranong United seeking a performance a bit better than last week's, where they conceded 20 against Belconnen United. Spaseski. Result that sent a few shockwaves around capital and the region. Not by the manner of who won, but by how many.
Yeah, and I think the shockwaves will continue because Tuggeranong have obviously asked for a postponement for reserve grade tomorrow. It's disappointing that we're struggling for those numbers.
Yeah, in the women's space in particular at the moment. Here's Riley Souza.
He's done well.
Bonnet's won it back off him. Only Delahi ahead. He'll put the pressure on Parach Cullen and do well to win it. Abdurrahim Delahi. Slotted in seamlessly so far. They will miss Nico Abbott, of course. All 5 of his league goals this season have been scored at this venue. City, meanwhile, have only lost 1 NPL match in their last half a dozen.
Which goes back to what we said earlier today, Ross, is you get on a bit of a run, you all of a sudden become a top 4 chance.
Sparrow, Colbertaldo, looking for the run of Yardrich. If your flag stays down, he's a chance, but it's skipped off the surface.
And that's the beauty of, say, someone like Daniel Sparrow playing up front, is that he drops into that false 9, almost /10 position, and that creates space for people like Yardrich and Max Reen to attack central areas.
Yeah, not just a striker in the sense of the word. It's a little bit like Harry Kane, I guess, in that respect. Frank, in terms of dropping deep and helping out. Here he is, tussling with Lavella. The young lad, no carer of reputation. Armani Lavella.
Yeah. About 3 soccer balls on the pitch at the moment, Ross.
None of them in the back of the net.
You'd hate that.
0-0.
You hate that.
Matt Gerbischer. Jack Parach Cullen. Yardrich. or Sousa rather, out there. There's Yardridge. Come inside. Give a Colbertaldo, little spin and turn, and he's got it back again. Tried to slide it through for Sparrow, and Tokic decides to clear.
Lovely little combination play there.
18 minutes in, no score. Canberra Croatia doing most of the attacking in the final third.
Some
Huge throw that. Was that Max Green launched that in there? I think it was. Comes out for Ryan Keir.
It's hardly any run-up.
He's been eating the
Wheat
Bix this morning. Yeah, 10 of them perhaps. Vucetic, little exchange of passes. Tokic again.
Well, he's still got a mouthful of Wheat Bix now. He's throwing it like that.
That's
Good ball.
some ball for Delahi, and he's got him behind here. Abduralim Delahi! Oh, he struck the base of the post. Great chance for Queanbeyan City. It would have been smash and grab. It was a good hit from the new man. The new old man, I should say.
That's a couple of times they've gone down that channel, Russ, and they've done it with relative success. That one, obviously, the most successful foray forward so far. But when Sousa goes forward, then that's a channel that they can exploit. And he's definitely got some pace. We saw that over the last couple of seasons.
I don't know how much Premier League you watched or you've seen. I know you watched a fair bit of it. Very similar to the goal that they scored here against Tuggeranong United, when Thomas Blazewski got in behind with that long ball over the top and blazed a finish into the near post.
Yep, and keeper was well beaten. Just width of the post away.
A warning for Canberra Croatia. Daniel Colbertaldo to take. Swings it into the area. It's going to come out for Yardridge. One back by Jack Parach-Cullen, whose brother, I believe, is on the fence down there, Frank.
Ah, right.
Can you see him? You can't miss him. He's about
Yeah,
6
he's
foot
about
10.
20 foot tall.
Matt Gerbischer. Central Coast Mariners goalkeeper. Not Matt Gerbischer, obviously. Dylan Parach-Cullen.
Yes.
You ask Matt Gerbischer, he might be playing goal for the Central Coast Mariners.
I'm sure he'd give it a go.
King of Vucetic. Here is Jack Parach-Cullen. Sparrow, Ryan Keir, clicking into gear perhaps. Spaseski on the overlap. Van der Pol, very strong in the challenge. Noah Van der Pol. Spaseski still hustling away. Concedes the free kick.
Good contest, those two.
Nice to see Dylan Parach-Cullen come to support his brother. Oh, I assume so anyway.
Yeah, I don't think he's good. I don't think
Maybe
he's
Queanbeyan
cheering
City
for
supporters
Queanbeyan.
club, I don't know.
Might be here looking at the new goalkeeper going, oh, okay.
The new goalkeeper who's not had an awful lot to do inside the opening 20 minutes of this.
Oh, his pass rate's just dropped us by half.
Gerbischer hoiks one up top. Tokic always favourite to win that over the head of Yardridge. Roberts against Ryan Keir.
He's been relatively quiet, actually, Keir, hasn't he, so far?
It's a loose one from Parach-Cullen. Namoski. Now there's two runners out to that side. Bonnet is one of them. Delahi was there as well. Good defensive work by Parach-Cullen.
Tell you what, Russ, Queanbeyan City are not just giving as well as they've got. They're actually getting the better chances at the minute.
Most of them, well, the two opportunities they've had outside of the one that hit the post, gifted to them by some fairly poor defensive efforts from Canberra Croatia.
Yeah, it's their retention and moving the ball from the back line through to midfield. That's where they're sort of falling over a bit, which is not common with this Canberra Croatia side.
Namoski to take, swings it in. Matasia under huge pressure.
Did well, the keeper.
Sam Aber was causing the blockade in front of the goalkeeper. Here's Green again with another monster throw. Finds Yardridge.
Good turn.
Got away from Miyabayashi in the first instance. Leverett there to help out. Good to see the crowd building up. It is all on one side here at High Street. A few standing on the fence. How do you feel if you got here early, Frank? Got yourself a seat in the bleacher and Dylan Parach-Cullen plonks himself in front of you in the fence. honestly.
Yeah, always the way, isn't it?
Plenty of familiar faces around us
There are.
in the ground. Michael Spoletta's down there, in a former Canberra Croatia striker of some repute.
Yeah, him and his brother. I think Rocco Stricker's father's here as well. Just actually speaking about familiar faces, Russ, we attended the funeral ceremony for Flav De Pauli yesterday. A lot of ex-Monero players there and people there from representing Canberra and the old boys there. I know there were the Cerns there. Scotty Connell was there. Baz Jumpala, obviously Walter Valeri was there with his family. Eleanor, Matt and Carl. It was the Monterossos were there. Yeah, it was a really solemn moment, and we send our condolences again out to Flavio's family and loved ones.
Very shock loss, that one, wasn't it? Last week.
Yeah, he was a policeman for 24 years, so there was a lot of AFP representation there as well, and a couple of speeches there. Justin Webb was one of the speakers, his son-in-law, who was on the board for Capital Football for a number of years. Another gentleman there from the AFP who gave eulogy as well. Very touching.
Daniel Sparrow can turn. Vucetic looking for Spaseski. Appended by Mishko Nomoski. Canberra Croatia weren't at their fluid best in the win over Monero in midweek. They weren't at their fluid best when winning in Griffith on the weekends. And yet, off the back of a cup final win, they've got 6 points from the last 6. And 3 goals apiece in both of those games. Queanbeyan. And it's fair to say this afternoon, Frank, they've yet to hit their stride. And much of that is down to what Queanbeyan City have done defensively. Can't always be as clinical and as efficient as they were when dismantling O'Connor Knights.
No, but it's a good sign. It's a sign of a good team when you might not be at your best, but you're still getting at the results.
And scoring goals in the process. Ryan Keir. Souza goes wide for Yardrich, beaten by Bonnet.
Use that channel again now.
Looking for the runner Delahi. Parach Cullen's gone across. 2 matches they have played this season. Croatia has won both. They've scored 7, 1 in reply by Queanbeyan. In their 4 away matches this season, Canberra Croatia have scored 14 times and conceded 4 goals. Pretty good away record, isn't it? And of the 43 they've scored, that's right, 43 in 10 games this year in the league. 18 have been in the first half, 25 in the second. They don't care when they get you, Frank. Excuse me.
Bless you.
It doesn't matter when they score.
Nah, and I guess, I mean, this is something that personally I don't put too much weight into, especially here in Canberra's away records as opposed to home records. It's a 15-minute drive.
Unless you're here, of course, and where they've only lost once all season.
Yeah. It was funny because, I mean, even that 2016 Canberra Olympic side, you know, we actually had a better record away from home than we did at O'Connor.
There was a time when Canberra Olympic just did not lose at Deakin Stadium.
Yeah, we loved it.
Used to be guaranteed 3 points.
I don't think so, mate. I don't think so.
You look at the stats.
Oh, we had a great record there, no doubt. But, yeah, it wasn't a walk-up.
Well, not a suggestion that they just rolled over for you. Abba steps inside Spaseski, looks to tee it up for Nomoski. Oh. And it's going to come up for Miyabiashi straight through the crowd, but Mateja was there. Nomoski again, perhaps on that right foot, much like the cup final.
He did try to open his body up and get that onto his left, but it was a good block. But they are creating some real headaches here for the Canberra Croatia backline.
Arguably had the better chances.
Well, the more consistent chances in the box. You know, Canberra Croatia's chances have come right at the moment from set pieces.
They've gone closest, hit the post. Although with our stats man next to us, that's not even a shot on target, is it, if it's the post? Which I can never understand. That is the target, right?
Well, it's in between those two things that are the target, so...
Queanbeyan City enjoying their afternoon in the sunshine at the moment.
I have a bigger bugbear with the shots on target that get blocked by defenders.
Isn't that a block shot?
Yeah, but they don't get called as a shot on target unless the goalkeeper saves it, and they are on target.
I mean, if it's blocked on the line,
if defenders on the line,
yeah, it's a block shot, right?
I don't know. We've got to look at our stats, man. And see
well, ask him half time. I think if it hits the post or the bar, it's got to be a shot on target, right?
Spoken like a true forward.
100%.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you to have it.
Yeah. It doesn't count.
No.
I used to play for a coach when I first came over here. A couple of years, second coach I played for, I think. If you hit the bar or the post in training, he made you do 10 press-ups.
Right.
So when I hit the bar at Woden Park,
it's dropped.
I dropped and gave him 10.
I tell you.
I don't think he was impressed.
We we were doing some building up Thursday night training, and I had Janet King sort of fire a few balls back to me from about half a pitch.
She can strike a ball.
Yeah, and I was just trying to bring it, and my first touch was that bad. I actually dropped and did push-ups because the girls going, "What is the matter with his?" It was a horrible first touch. It was bloody awful, us, to be honest.
Well, that time I did hit the bar and did the press-ups. You'd have enjoyed that, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I'm only doing what my coach told me to do.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Paid attention.
So it turns out your first touch is not that great.
Well, it wasn't on Thursday night.
But Taser's come to get it. I mean, that's just with age, mate, isn't it?
I think it is. I reckon there's a lot to do with how you can judge a ball and your eyesight.
Oh, at night time, it's
good
terrible,
run.
isn't it?
Good run here, Sparrow.
Spaseski over the top. Here's Sparrow, and he's got there first. Beasley's come and not got it, and Sparrow scores. He's been cleaned out by the goalkeeper. It was brave by Daniel Sparrow. He's paid the price, but he's put his team in front. Half an hour in.
Well, both players are worse for wear. It's a great finish from Daniel Sparrow. We just got to hope that both these players get up and are fit to continue, because that was a nasty, nasty clash. But really brave Daniel Sparrow to get the ball in front of the keeper and finish the way he did. Fins up, Beasley, but Sparrow is still down.
Would have worn it completely, the goalkeeper. He would have cleaned out Daniel Sparrow, who was coming through. I saw one, in fact, for Sparrow. It's a good ball by Spaseski. Might have been a knee to the chest.
Yeah, I reckon he might have got cleaned out.
Just watching the replay.
His hip onto around the head area.
The pass from Tony Spaseski, a cracker.
Brilliant.
And Daniel Sparrow, well, continuing where he left off this campaign. That's double figures in all competitions for Daniel Sparrow, in what's effectively been 14 matches. If I'd said to you, Frank, 14 games into the season, 10 league and 4 in the cup, that Daniel Sparrow would have scored 10 times, would you have believed me at the start of the year? At the start of the year, before you saw the lineups and how they were going to play?
Oh, look, I believe everything you say, Russ. You know that.
Well, absolutely.
And I believe a lot in Daniel Sparrow's ability. I guess you'd probably, I mean, for me, if you were telling me that at the beginning of the year, I'd be wondering what happened to the likes of Green and Thomas James, and because you would imagine he would have taken one of their spots, but Dean's found a way of making this all work together, be it through necessity or what.
And a harsh reality check, perhaps, for Queanbeyan City. Had the chances, haven't taken them. One
Correct.
real opening for Canberra Croatia, and they score. Daniel Sparrow, I mentioned it at the top of the broadcast, Frank, 9 goals in his NPL career before this season.
Yeah.
7 already this year.
And they navigated their way through half an hour pretty much, Russ. And as you said, they actually created good opportunities to open the scoring. Good touch.
Diadrich, Vucetic. It almost apologetically rolled into the net. It was a tidy finish that from Daniel Sparrow. Vucetic. We're going to slide it through. Tokic got a foot on it.
I'll tell you, I'd be very surprised if he makes it onto the pitch in the second half, if he even remains out here in this half, because he's looking pretty worse for wear there, Russ, and he's holding his mouth every now and then, and
he got clobbered by the young keeper who did nothing wrong.
No, he
the
did nothing wrong.
In fact, even taking out the fact that they collided, it was actually not bad goalkeeping to come out and spread himself as wide as he could.
Yep.
It was just a really classy finish. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on Daniel Sparrow. They'll have to drag him off the park. He won't go willingly. But it's the league leaders who lead.
And still 1-0 over in O'Connor.
An away day for the Panthers and Canberra Croatia, the top two, as they were maintaining the status quo as we enter the final 15 minutes of the first half. Here's Noah van der Poel. Stretches from green. It's broken for ABBA. Big and strong, but so's Tony Spaseski.
Oh, ABBA stayed down, Russ.
He's taken 3 paces and then just gone down, and I'm not sure what's happened or where he is. But he's right in front of the cluster of crowd. We can't really see.
We can't see him, but
he came in with a challenge with Tony Spaseski and then took 2 steps further forward and then just fell over, which is never a good sign. A bit of concern from the Canberra Croatia players here. Queanbeyan City haven't got a physio, have they? Oh, here he comes.
Well, he's not rushing.
But not the best for Canberra Croatia. Tuggeranong versus Ugali, Adam Fry Memorial Shield tomorrow. Or Tigers Gunners, or Gunners Tigers if you prefer. Both those games live on the Canberra Football YouTube channel.
No, it's a big game. I mean, that Tuggeranong win, probably right at the moment, the way the results are with O'Connor losing. Tuggeranong win that, they go to 14 points, and it gives them a nice gap over Queanbeyan City. But if Ugali win that, they go to 8. And all of a sudden, they're only a game away from top 4.
I can give you a result from the Capital Premier League, Frank, if you want. Wagga City Wanderers 0, Canberra Juventus 5. Adam Brooks, Luca McCaw, a double from Christian Baresi and 1 from Jack Matic for Juventus.
And I believe it was Michael Adams' debut for Canberra Juventus.
Oh, did he play?
I believe he was meant to.
Well, he wasn't in the team.
Oh, okay.
Gabe Tarazi was. Dylan Barretto. Oh, he did. There you go. Michael Adams did play.
Go.
Played 62 minutes.
Ultra.
Brandon Hawker, Christian Baresi, Adam Brooks, Jack Matic, James Lavella, Callum Johnston, Luca Novosel, Luca McCaw. With a starting 11 for Juve. 5-0 winners. This afternoon, Brindabella Blues v ANU. West Canberra Wanderers versus Canberra White Eagles. 3 o'clock at Corwell and 3:30 at Melrose. 4:30 at McKellar.
Big game.
Belconnen United versus Canberra Olympic. If you're in the area, go along and watch that. Tomorrow, Women's Premier League will see Canberra Olympic play Tuggeranong United. There's a fairly big match in the Women's Premier League tomorrow, isn't there?
Canberra Croatia.
Yeah, Canberra Croatia against Belconnen at Deakin. Majura play Gungahlin at Ainsley. Here's Max Green. Having a run at Van der Poel. Picked off by Roberts. Bonnets. Sam Abbott back with us. Daniel Roberts is going to see yellow, the first of the afternoon. Queanbeyan City. 9 minutes to the break. Trail by that 1-0. Their under-23s were beaten 3-0 by Canberra Croatia earlier today. Youngley and McLean came on and scored in that. High hopes for him, they do, the young striker. In the under-23s at O'Connor, it finished O'Connor Knights 3, Monero Panthers 1. Vucetic to lift it into the danger area. Ryan Keir was the target. City somehow get it away after a couple of swings. Souza, go to Bishop. Souza again. Price Cullen. Queanbeyan. Tokic away. Dino Grilic might have a bit of a headache trying to pick his best 11 for that round of 32. Niki Jadric now back in contention. Both Subasic's on the bench today. Thomas James on the bench today. One player who won't play will be Michael Piccolo, of course.
Cup tied, yeah.
Not that he doesn't rate him. He just can't.
But that also frees up picks to play the majority of the NPL games in and around that period.
Sparrow, lovely ball down the channel. It's a chance for Susan to pull it back. And well, the hit from Colbertaldo. Jadric it was, in fact, who pulled it back. And Colbertaldo, well, scuffed it into the ground, really. Got a deflection. Yep,
and that was a big opportunity there for Canberra Croatia to extend their lead. Jadric's ball into the middle was perfect for Daniel Colbertaldo. Just came to his left foot, which is usually pretty reliable, but just let him down on that occasion.
He does pull the back well. Marko Jadric. Vucetic into the near post. Sam Abbott should be able to deal with that quite comfortably. Noah van der Poel nods it down. Riley Souza. Vucetic. And away by Tokic. Shins it though.
Yeah, he's got to do a bit better.
Spaseski. Colbertaldo. Oh, the really good, important touch. Armani Lavella had to get there, didn't he?
Yep. Yeah, there's good runs happening in behind him.
Speaking of Van der Poels, there's a couple in front of us.
There are. Yep. That was the wave.
Keir. Green. Keir again. Abbott steps in. Keir gets it back. Sparrow looks much better than he did 2 minutes ago. And Lavella comes across to win it. Seems to have shaken off that knock. Will Max Green line up another one? Not really seen a Max Green long throw before, have you?
Before today, no.
I don't know he's been hiding it or whether he's been down the gym. Just lifting some weights.
Well, no, Matty Gilbert has got a long throw on him as well, but he doesn't get forward anymore, does he, even from set pieces?
Well, you can ask him about that because he'll tell you why. Is that he says he's too slow to get back.
Now, if you call him old again, you know you're going to get in trouble.
Look, he told me. I said to him, you don't go up anymore for corners. He goes, it's because I can't get back in time. He lets the younger legs do that these days. Matty Gerbischer, who's been around for 267
Got to be careful here,
games.
Daniel Roberts. He's on a yellow.
Sparrow. Max Green coming together off the ball with Roberts. Jordan King says there was a pullback.
Yeah, handful of shirt there and
coming up to half time, Frank.
Yeah, it's a couple of minutes. Oh.
4 to play.
4. It's actually gone through pretty quickly this half, hasn't it, Ross?
It has. It's been a good watch, actually. City might have taken the lead. Abdurrahim Delahi's shot cannoning back off the base of the post before Canberra Croatia did take the lead. Daniel Sparrow. Nomoski. Bonnet. To lift it into the box. Spaseski gets rid of it. There was some trepidation.
I tell you, Russ, there's been a couple of moments there where Bonnet and Delahi have created opportunities in central areas in the box, and you're just waiting for someone like a Nico Abbott to get on the end of those that just haven't been there.
Riley Souza back. I was about to say, Frank, there was some trepidation this morning when Queanbeyan City's faithful found out the 11, those who were missing. Sparrow's touch, including Abbott, Ayul, Blazewski, Guerrero, Palic, Haidu, Middleton. About how this might play out this afternoon in terms of the scoreboard. I'll tell you what it has shown us, if you didn't know already, that Queanbeyan City have got plenty of players in depth.
They've got depth
that can step up here.
Yep. And that's not just an overnight thing. That's something that they've been building over a number of years.
And plenty of players that have stood up, no matter what happens from here on in.
Well, they don't want to. Yeah, I mean, obviously they want to stick to their guns again, navigate through to half-time now, and then
regroup. Sparrow into the middle. That's an important clearance from Lavella.
and then build on that second half. If they get through that first 15 minutes of the second half, if they're 60 minutes in, they're still 1-0 down. They're in a position where they can actually throw some players forward, roll the dice a couple of times, and see if they can get amongst them.
What they don't want to do is concede just
Correct.
before half-time. Here's Ryan Keir. Sparrow. Spaseski. Lovely angle on that ball. Was won by Vucetic. It will be a goal kick.
But even though they're down 1-0, like for the majority of the half, they've kept Canberra Croatia, at arm's length. In that they haven't actually gotten to the box that many times.
Finn Beasley's not really had a save to make.
The Colbachaldo chance that happened a couple of minutes ago was probably their second best chance after the Polite-Cohen header, after obviously with the goal as well. But even the goal, it wasn't as if there was 5 or 6 passes and they were congregating the box. It was a great ball over the top to Sparrow, who made a great run.
Here is Sparrow with Lavella. Renewing acquaintances again. It would appear that the message to Armani Lavella is stay touch tight to Daniel Sparrow wherever he is on the park. He's taking this free kick themselves.
He's done really well there.
Ryan Keir lifted it in. Caught Max Green. He's followed Daniel Sparrow around all over the place, Armani Lavella, so far. And as you said, Ryan Keir, a couple of free kicks here and there, a couple of balls forward here and there. It's been largely quiet for Canberra Croatia. Sparrow, though, has had the say that matters.
And as quiet as Ryan Keir has been, Daniel Roberts has been quite been contained as well. They're two of the prime movers on the pitch at the moment, and they're influential. Their influence over the game hasn't been as what you probably expect. So both of those could come to life in the second half. They might just be cancelling each other out.
Well, whoever Canberra Croatia draw on Wednesday, let's hope they watch the video of this one in the first half. In the first half. They've not been at their best, the league leaders.
Sure, anyone that they draw, except possibly an A-League side, will be we'll be looking at countless videos of Canberra Croatia. Everyone in the NPL at that sort of level is doing their homework relentlessly. It's a good ball again.
Down in the area, no go. O'Connor Knights are level against the Panthers at O'Connor Enclosed in stoppage time at the end of the first half.
Yep.
Knights 1, Panthers 1. Might well have been an own goal. So Rahegi getting a fair bit of the congratulations from what I'm seeing. Frank can have a look at it while I watch this. I think it might have gone in off a defender in the end. Here's Matt Goodbishop. Ryan Keir. Porach Cullen.
Yeah, it's definitely an own goal.
Deep Jones.
Yep.
Heggie with the ball in.
There's a chance here.
Sam Aber will chase.
Just overhit it.
Matasia. That was almost the last kick of the game, by the way, of the first
that
half.
puts O'Connor Knights at the same points as Tuggeranong on 11. So 3 teams are on 11 right at the moment as we stand. Queanbeyan City, O'Connor Knights and Tuggeranong. Chance.
Sparrow. It will be a corner. Yeah, the goal difference. Tuggeranong -8, City -11, Knights -10. So O'Connor would go up a place. 1 goal difference. Good recovery to going early behind. Vucetic whips it in towards Green. Great leap. And Beatty was well placed to make the save, but got off the ground with such height.
Yeah. Metre either side of him, and keeper's in trouble, isn't he?
His Bonnets. Roberts. Abbott. Finds Van der Poel. Up against Spaseski. Elects to go back for Abba. Van der Poel. Showed too much of it to Max Green. A little bit too intricate out there. They wanted it just in the box.
Yeah, just needed a ball in.
Vanderpoel's won it back. We're 3 minutes into stoppage time here at High Streets. Sparrow's got away from Lavella, who's had a go, and he might get a card here. Armani Lavella. He's had one or two digs this afternoon at Daniel Sparrow, and that's one too many for Jordan King. Yellow card for the centre-back. Might be a good yellow card to take at that stage of the half. Daniel Colbertaldo over the free kick. This would be a heartbreak for City if they conceded a second at this stage.
Bit shallow.
Souza back for Gudabisha. There will be no time. And at half-time, Canberra Croatia will lead Frank Keisha with that goal. Half-time at O'Connor enclosed. Knights 1, Panthers 1. But here, that one goal, the difference.
Yeah, and it's, to be honest, I mean, if you asked the Canberra Croatia coaching staff what the perfect scenario is, it's these guys are leading and Monero aren't. So I think they've got everything they wanted out of that first 45 minutes. Having said that, credit to Queanbeyan City. I mean, with the players they've had out and missing, they've really given themselves a really good opportunity to stay in this game. They're 1-0 down. They've created opportunities. What'll be interesting is if they do start throwing men forward, what that opens up at the other end, because Canberra Croatia are the perfect team to pick you off in transition.
Abdurrahim Delahi went closest for City. His effort off the base of the post almost gave them the lead before Daniel Sparrow did for Canberra Croatia. His 7th league goal of the season, 10th in all competitions, right on the half-hour mark. That's the difference at half-time here at High Street, where it's Queanbeyan City 0, Canberra Croatia 1. Welcome back to High Street, where we're waiting for the start of the second half between Queanbeyan City and Canberra Croatia. Half-time here, the goal from Daniel Sparrow is the difference. Frank Cachers with myself, Russ Gibbs, for this one. And Frank, 1-1 over at O'Connor enclosed to the goal from Fernando for Panthers. Dylan Deep-Jones, we think, with the own goal off a Sosa Rahegi pass, if you like, if you want to call it a pass. Yeah. Cross shot. Yep. But here, Sparrow's goal, and we were told that there was a yellow card as well for Finn Beasley in that.
Yeah, eagle-eyed camera operator.
All over it.
All over it. Better than us.
Didn't see it myself. Watching the free kick, though, the goal that they've scored at... Just
poor defending. Yeah, the temperature's really dropped here at High Street, hasn't it, Russ?
Yeah, we're just looking at the goal scored. I'm not even sure. Just for Queanbeyan to get the touch on this, Frank. Just looking at the goal.
For O'Connor's sake, I hope not.
Panthers. There's this at the back here. Is that a foot there for him?
Yeah, he's crossed it in.
Laid it back in for Fernando. A little cheeky assist on his return. What did you make of the first half from a Queanbeyan City perspective, Frank? Because they've come in with all those players missing, and they've done all right.
Yeah, it's one of those ones as a coach, if you're going with pretty low expectations, simply because of the players you've got missing, and the good quality of the opposition. They'll be quite buoyed with that. I think they will definitely be happy to still be in the contest.
And we were told there's a change at half-time. You could see him out there just heading the football, wearing number 14. Daniel Subasic will be joining us shortly in the white shirt in the middle of your screen right there. He'll be coming on for Jack Parach-Cullen. Surprised by that or not?
No, like we said, I think we're at the stage now with the final 32 coming up. We've got, you've got Canberra Croatia that are sitting sort of 8 points clear or so from the rest of the pack. Dean and his coaching team will shuffle the pack here and there and make sure players are getting good minutes without getting overloaded, and they've got the quality there that they can swap and change. It's not as if you lose anything by bringing on Daniel Subasic for Riot Cohen. So
159 National Premier League games for Daniel Subasic.
Yeah,
this is it. This will be his. That's the one change at half-time for Canberra Croatia. Queanbeyan City, whether they will make a change, well, we will see shortly when they join us. Let's have a look at Matt Gerbisher here on the sideline wearing number 4, just walking down. He has this little routine that he goes through. Keep an eye on him.
Yep.
Just this little routine on halfway. He doesn't go on the field until he gets to the halfway line. It's something that's a quirk of his game. He's been doing it for many years now.
There's a few that do different sort of things. I know,
here he goes.
Gabby Wilk used to put a pile of rubbish behind his bench and all sorts of stuff. And I know Michael John, that plays for O'Connor Knights, has his sort of hop, skip thing that he comes onto the field with. It's
So can we rewind that a moment to the Gabby Wilk pile of rubbish?
Yeah.
So he gets an actual pile of rubbish.
He does. And Marinero have just scored, Russ.
I could see it on your phone.
Crescas, well, looks things.
Looks like Christian Crescas has scored. But yeah, just to rewind, in terms of a pile of rubbish, what are you thinking about?
He had. And if Jair or Gabby actually ever listen, like if they're listening now, they hear his back. He has his pile of rubbish that he puts behind the bench, and if there's a chance missed or whatever else, he puts it behind from the bench to behind the fence into a bin or whatever else. But there's always his pile of rubbish. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know what generates it, but there's something about it. It's just but yeah, anyone that's coached against Gabby will have seen it. And that's a big,
highly unusual.
It is, and that's a big goal there for Monero.
Yeah, someone has a shot. I'm not sure who it was. It was blocked.
Yeah, it was blocked on the line, and then it's come back out.
I think it was Stephen Dominici, in fact, who's had a shot blocked on the goal line. Christian Crescas has turned it home. Panthers in front. They were in front early in the first half, though, so there will be no panic, I don't believe. Not as there will be any panic here either.
Yeah, it's this first 15 minutes, I think, is critical for Queanbeyan's chances. If we know that Canberra Croatia have got different gears that they can step into, and if they do step up a couple of gears, then it might be hard for them to hold on. They've really got to get through this next 15 minutes and see if they can launch themselves in amongst that Canberra Croatia backline in the last half an hour.
Well, we're waiting for something here. What are we waiting for? Jordan King. Confirmation of the change, perhaps. And after that delay, we will get underway. Queanbeyan City looking for a way back into the match. Don't think they made any changes, Frank, looking around the Reds.
17 is on.
Oh, Charlie Ray, there you go. There is one right in the middle of the park. This is where we take ages to pick it up, and I think it's Mishka Namoski who's made way. So one change for Queanbeyan City as well.
Interesting that they brought Ray on and not Marco.
Well, maybe he's not quite right, Marko Savkovic. Charlie Ray, number 17, in the middle of the park. Tenth appearance of the season for Charlie Ray, 6th time off the bench. Here's Marko Jadric. Felt a bit sorry for O'Connor Knight's goalkeeper in that clip you just showed me there, Frank, because it was a good ball in from Manda, made a good save from Daniel Barak.
He did, and it was blocked
on the line by Dominici, and then once those two have had a pop, Christian Kreska says, I'll turn it home.
Yeah, I thought they got away with it when they got blocked off the line, but...
Well, that changes nothing in terms of the league table, other than the fact it around the top 4 chase. Croatia will be on 30, Panthers on 22. The gap will be quite significant to Tigers, who would need to win tomorrow. Tuggeranong 11, Queanbeyan 11, O'Connor back to 10. With a game in hand, of course. Their game in hand against Gungahlin United is looming to be a big one as well.
Well, as you said, you know, Gungahlin potentially, well, they're 2 games out of the top 4. They get a run on, especially in if they get some home games happening.
Transfer window shuts on Monday. I wonder if there'll be a little bit more movement before then.
You'd imagine so. It's Canberra. You'd imagine there'd be movement after that. That's got to be handball if that ball's not out.
If you're interested in your transfers, you can tune in on Monday. Frank will be in the Capital Football car park for 24 hours.
Yeah, doing the shutdown.
just for 24 hours in front of the camera, just on Facebook Live.
Yeah, Arsenal have signed
bringing you all the news from the local NPL.
Am I missing something there? Was that not handball?
It did look like handball from Matt Gulabisha, but then you are an AFL fan, so you'd be all right with that, wouldn't you?
No, really not.
Just a caveat, that is not happening. Frank will not be in the car park for 24 hours on Facebook Live on Monday, in case anybody out there believes me.
Yeah, if I'm in the car park, I'll be sitting in Russ's helicopter on the helicopter pad.
The helicopter doesn't go in the car park. How many more times?
Goes in the helicopter park.
I park it in the back of your mansion.
Well, if you can get your driver to pick me up on the way through, I'll be there for 24 hours. In the back of the Russ's limo that he has chauffeur driven to Deakin every.
Green blocked off of Cole Bataldo. I wish I had a limo chauffeur driven. Want to come pick me up?
We know you try to come across as a man of the people, but we know.
Do you know what? If I had all of this that you keep telling people I have, I probably wouldn't be stood right here.
Where else would you be, Russ? Come on, mate.
Probably at the Club World Cup. Watching Flamingo destroy Chelsea.
You'd be doing those individual player call-outs. You could be announcing.
Oh, imagine that. We're going to get that involved in the NPL. How good's that going to be? Bonnet. Delahi. Sent a bit wide.
Yeah, but he turned back where he probably had the better chance of turning towards goal there.
Here's Daniel Roberts.
And Sparrow's back out, which is great, and it's moving well.
Not bad from Finn Beasley. He's done okay on his debut. I think
Yeah.
he'll be very proud of what he's done so far. Been beaten by the quality of Daniel Sparrow's finish.
I suppose, again, you know, this is a great opportunity for Goran to see that he's got depth in pretty much every position now, including goalkeeper.
They've always had a lot of faith in him. Just I think Middleton had the position cemented as his own. Now, here's a chance for Green. Players to hit in the middle. Marko Jadric is arriving.
Some ball. two great passes.
Stretching it.
First Calvataldo into Green, and then Green's ball into Yadrich was exceptional. Just inches away from Yadrich.
Well, if his stride pattern was wrong, wasn't it? If he
Yeah,
could have got the
just
one
reaching
stride,
out, yeah.
the other foot, he would have been all right. It might well have been 2-0. Bonnet's lovely turn again. Delahaye. Looks for Van der Poel. Delahaye again. Roberts. Lavella. Well, these young boys have been really good this afternoon. Van der Poel.
A couple of questions actually coming in, Russ. So the window does close Monday, not June 30?
I was told it closes Monday the 23rd. Which is Monday, is it not?
24th?
23rd?
Something.
Visitage headed away, so yes, the 23rd, I was told, by the office. So I'm hoping they'd know.
Well, there's no guarantees.
Riley Sousa, back for Bishop.
So those couple of people that have just messaged me, yep, apparently Monday.
Yes, that is the 23rd. Isn't that not what we said?
Yeah.
Because you're going to be in the car park. Spaseski with a little ticker tape running on the bottom of the phone. Spaseski and Frank Seen, player X, in a coffee shop in Tuggeranong. Therefore signing for Mitch Stevens.
There's an Uber coming from McKellar into Deakin.
So if you don't want to be linked with a move to somewhere, don't go shopping in Tuggeranong Hyperdome on Sunday afternoon.
So is it close? I'm getting a lot of questions here, Russ. Is it close of business Monday? Is it midnight Monday?
Well, first of all, it doesn't close. It slams shut, right?
Right.
Because that's what transfer windows do, don't they? They don't close. They slam shut, mate.
This guy's been like... There are people that really need this information, Russ.
I believe it is midnight on the 23rd. So we might be closed of business. I don't know.
And just a reminder on anyone trying to change clubs, you also need to deregister.
Yes,
and
you
have
need
that
to deregister and have it approved. Now, the deregister process, if you send an email to say that you are deregistering with an intention to go to another club, that will probably enable you to have that. It's like when the fax machine gets you through at 11:59, but you haven't quite done it. Because you have to deregister, get it approved, then register with a new club, get that approved, and then you need to get Dribble to map you out.
And if you're not registered with the club at the moment, you've actually got longer.
You do.
Yeah. Because you don't need to deregister.
That's correct. Bonnet gets away from Abba's pass, and he might get there ahead of Matasia. He does.
Just needed someone to come in the box with him.
See Adam Di Franceschi turn up just a moment ago. Monero Panthers. Someone who looked very much like him.
No, I don't think that's not different.
No, it looked like him. I thought it was about unlikely considering they're playing.
He'd be out at O'Connor.
Just got the same haircut and a Monero Panthers shirt.
Yeah, the fact that he's probably 20 kilos lighter.
And no brace.
And 1 foot smaller.
And no brace on the knee.
Yeah. And no tattoos, yeah.
Brave man walking in here with a Monero Panthers shirt on.
Brave man having a haircut like D-Fran, just quietly. D-Fran watches this, he's going to shoot me.
He's too busy.
He'll get his removal truck and back over me or something.
He's watching his team win 2-1 at O'Connor at the moment.
So I should check that.
Hoping that he can get back on the park at some stage.
If the injury's an ACL,
well, that's a problem. Yadrich is going to get in behind here. Beasley goes there. Does he bring him down? That's the question. And it's waved away by Jordan King. Probably a lucky man as well, Beasley, because if he did, that might have been a second yellow, and they've got no keeper on the bench. Jack Leverett, well, he can glance back at his goalkeeper and thank him for sparing his blushes. Marko Yadrich was almost in. Change coming.
Yeah, I reckon he's a bit of a lucky boy just at the minute.
The Daniel Sparrow, his afternoon's done. And Queanbeyan City will breathe a sigh of relief because he has been an absolute pain to play against. And then they will take a look across to the substitution and go, oh, it's Thomas James. 7 goals in 8 games for the striker. 10 in all competitions, or 9 in all competitions for the number 9 as well. Not bad replacement to have, is it? Bringing someone on who's netted 88 Premier League goals in 120 games.
It's funny, Queanbeyan City tried to play that, and they were complaining that he got called back. They had their last 5 minutes again, and they realised the bullet they just dodged with the penalty shout. I think they won't be complaining too much about any sort of free kicks.
Good ball in for Roberts. Come off of Bonnets. I'm sure we'll see it out of play.
And I do appreciate the positive feedback I got for the D-Friend joke. It's coming through as well.
Fair enough. Was it from his mum?
No.
Here is Thomas James. That's a lovely
touch.
Yardrich away from Roberts, who couldn't touch him. Here's Yardrich again. Vucetic, Max Green, still going. That was an improvisation from Max Green.
That's ambitious to chip it up and try to header it from the edge of the box. But I tell you what, Daniel Roberts was inches away from his second yellow there. He just thought better of it.
Well, he pulled out of it, didn't he? Because he knew he was on a yellow.
He did.
And that's going to be the rest of the half for Daniel Roberts as well. 35 more minutes of it.
Yeah.
Yardrich, here is Roberts.
They've
give a shout out to his cafe again, Red Baron Cafe. Wonderful place to go and visit.
And and Daniel Cobaltaldo's Casa is now open on weekends, Saturdays. So I promised him I'm going there next Saturday.
And both of them are going to support this new magazine venture, which you will hear about from myself at some stage. Here's Spaseski.
Yeah,
both great cafes to go to. Yeah. Although Daniel Cobaltaldo needs to lift his game a bit, because I used to go there for the loaded fries, and he's not doing them anymore.
They're no good for you, Russ.
I mean, but that was the whole point of
Yeah, but they're no good for you, Russ.
They were very good for me. I can tell you that. Absolutely good. Vucetic forward. Here goes Riley Souza. And away from Bonnets. Can he pick the right ball? It's not a bad cutback. Thomas James just off the bench and denied by a block. I think it might have been Tokic.
Yep. And it's not a matter of Canberra Croatia knocking on the door at the moment. They're pretty much close to kicking it right in. They're well on top.
Thomas James, who'd been on the pitch more than 2 minutes, might have hit that first time. And
I don't know. Did you see his first touch before? That little flick around the corner?
Yeah. Point taken. Took an extra touch, perhaps didn't need it. Good ball in. Mind you, Thomas James doesn't need advice from two ageing has-beens.
No. And even if he did, I don't think he would take it.
True story.
There's Daniel Sparrow making his way over while we're talking about cafes and Little Sutton.
That's another person I was going to mention as well, supporting this new magazine venture as well. Daniel Sparrow from Little Sutton Bakery. Lovely place again.
Yep. Your magazine, so everyone's heard of Time. Well, this one's just called Russ.
It is. It's just all about me and my helicopter. That's a new football magazine that I'm in the process of putting together independence.
Yep, Russ got tired of us not talking enough about him in commentary, so he's made a magazine about himself.
Yeah, you can read all about it. Now, there's going to be some wonderful stuff in there, hopefully, about football in Canberra.
You.
Not about me. Here's Roberts. Fancies one and hits it!
Oh!
And strikes the bar. It might come for Delahi, it doesn't, but Daniel Roberts is the second City player to hit the woodwork, and that was hit with some velocity.
And I tell you, I think Matej has got a touch on that, Russ. I think that's a save.
Again, a slight warning for Canberra Croatia that this is not done by any means. The woodwork rattled twice. Souza.
Yep, you were potentially looking at goal of the year there. It was some strike. We've seen some beauties in the last few weeks. Cobaltaldo's free kick, and that was a nearly.
Here's Roberts again under pressure. Free kick goes away City. But just to finish up on the magazine thing, it will be about football in Canberra and the region. Plenty of stuff to talk about as well in there as well. There's been another goal.
Oh, has he got a touch on it?
I think it was a whipped-in free kick, wasn't it, by Crescus? Is it Dylan Deep Jones is claiming it? Yep. Just go back a bit and you can see it. See, have a look. I think he has. 3-1 to
Seminara.
Panthers. That looks done and dusted.
Reasonably safe now.
But yeah, that magazine will come out at some stage, and working on it at the moment. Keep a look on the socials for everything. And we can hopefully get some really good stories about football out there, mate. Might even have an interview with you in it at some stage. Here's Thomas James. Gets himself a free kick. Different test, isn't it, now, for the defence with Thomas James on instead of Sparrow? Different kind of player. Formation doesn't change, but just the player in it. And here he is in that pocket of space.
But they both tend to drift away from just that sort of traditional number 9. You'll see them pop up in all sorts of different little pockets of space, and that's what makes them difficult. The Popovic is the same. He turns up in little areas that you wouldn't expect him to.
Canberra Croatia screaming for a corner. It was out of our view. Leverett's went across with, in fact, it might have been, Armani Lavella went across with Marko Jadric. The one part of the pitch you can't see here from where we're stood. Great view, though, that we get afforded here at High Streets. Here's Daniel Roberts. Corbetaldo. Lavella away. Can Queanbeyan City find a way back into it? Quarter round to the second half. I believe Daniel Corbetaldo, just on the food theme, will be bringing his mobile casa to the Kanga Cup this year.
Yeah, right.
Big good opportunity for the van that's not doing anything at the moment. Now they've got the...
So that'll be a home away from home for Daniel. Casa away from Casa.
Look, at the end of the day, we said he can bring it. If he doesn't bring loaded fries...
You're banned.
Yeah. Thomas James tried the little reverse ball. Goes in again on the challenge. Here's Abba. Kanga Cup is just around the corner, believe it or not. Second week of July. 356 teams this year. It was capped at 324. So work that one out. From all around Australia.
Oh, here's a chance.
This is perfect position.
With a
kind of place that Thomas James would have put the ball if you said to him, where do you want to put free kick on the pitch?
Yeah.
Just enough distance to get it up and down, and this could be a pivotal moment, especially considering the conversation Queanbeyan City are having right now, Frank, about whether or not there was much contact.
Again, probably dodged the bullet a little while ago.
Goran Jozovovski is screaming for a change. Or he's screaming at something. He's saying next out. I'm surprised he'd want to do it when there's a free kick.
Doesn't lack any animation, does he, old guys?
He's picked up 4 yellow cards this year, 2 in the league and 2 in the cup.
Do they get suspended? Coaches get suspended?
Well, if he gets 4, he will, yeah.
Well,
he's 2 in the league and 2 in the cup.
Yeah, different comps.
Different comps. Sharing them out. Thomas James has actually taken this back, probably 1.5 meters.
Yeah, probably help him get up and down. But, yeah, might just go for power here too.
Well, Finn Beasley
There's
on
space.
debut.
There's space.
It's Thomas James. It's over the wall, and Beasley does well to hold on to it too. Good take by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, and what's impressive about that was not just that he saved it, he caught it. I think it's a really good sign from goalkeepers if they can not just parry these sort of hard hit shots.
Charlie Ray finds Sam Abba to up in support. Coming together over that far side. Corbetaldo, I think that is, with Abba.
Until he turned around and saw that Abba was twice his size, and it looks like Colby's going to make way, actually.
I was going to say they were going to go eye to eye, but it was more like eye to chest. Corbetaldo is going to make way. One of 2 changes. Riley Souza is the other. Nicky Subasic coming on for Riley Souza. Nicky Jadric on for Daniel Corbetaldo.
I'm just wondering whether they're going to pull the trigger on Savkovic coming on, Ross.
We've got an interesting bench. We'll go back to that in a moment. Stephen Kreskus, 1 Premier League appearance to his name off the bench. Samuel Palic, 1 Premier League appearance to his name off the bench. Vasko Petrovski never played at this level, but has played for Queanbeyan City for a long, long, long time in the Capital Premier League, and Marko Savkovic.
They're not your sort of attack. I mean, Kreska's, I'd imagine, is an attacking option, but the other three are more defensive, aren't they? Palic and Savkovic.
And big Vasco Petrovski, centre-back.
Whether or not that allows them to throw someone else, or maybe Van der Poel can go further forward.
Yardrich. That was Marko. Finds Vucetic. Max Green to chase. Cleared by Leverett.
That might be the change. Is if you do get someone like Palic on, you can put Van der Poel further forward.
It makes sense, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Jack Leverett gets rid of it.
Well, they've given themselves a chance, haven't they, Russ? 24 minutes ago, 1-0 down.
Well, they're still in the contest, and to be honest, when I saw the team sheet this morning, and when you saw it when you turned up, I wondered if it was going to be a contest. And that's no disrespect to those players out in the park, but we're seeing almost a full-strength Canberra Croatia against a severely depleted Queanbeyan City. Max Green. Back for Vucetic. Leverett needs to get there, does. James just pulled off into that pocket exactly for that. Nicky Subasic. James. Little 1-2. It's Thomas James. It's still there for Max Green. Vucetic. Charged down by Charlie Ray. And those Queanbeyan City players, Frank, just to finish that point, have done exceptionally well, the ones that have come in. And, well, they've given probably Goran Jozefovski a bit of a headache next week when they play O'Connor Knights.
Yeah, well, the great thing is when you bring young players, I mean, what you want to see is, do they look out of their depth? Do they look like they belong in this on this stage? And for the vast majority, I think the answer is yes. Like, there's no one that's really let the side down. From the keeper coming in to young Lavella and even Delali up front, like, they've all done their job.
Well, they get a tangible reward at the end of it. Here's Miyabayashi.
I'll tell you what, there's a group of people out at O'Connor at the moment wearing green and black shirts who will be hoping that the Queanbeyan City do get something out of this.
Whether the noisy neighbours can come and help them. They've already taken 3 points off them this season, Queanbeyan City. Vucetic, lovely weight on it for Yardrich. It's Marko Yardrich that comes off of Leverett. Nicky Subasic got there first. Nikola Yardrich had made the run into the middle. There's still a chance though, isn't there? Well, it's 1-0.
Absolutely.
It feels a lot like the cup final. And the Croatia have probably had more of the possession, more of the territory, especially in the second half.
Second half, absolutely, yep.
And yet they cannot put Queanbeyan City to bed. Thomas James, the second goal might just do that. Nicky Yardrich, just on the pitch. Vucetic, Ryan Keir thought about it and then disguised the ball for Spaseski, who does have a go. Trundles its way through to Finn Beasley.
Yeah. And you can see what happens. You know, that Daniel Roberts shot that crashed off the crossbar. Yeah, all it takes is one moment.
Max Green. Here's Miyabayashi. And again. James got there. Not ahead of Armani Lavella. Here's James looking for Vucetic. Just to clear up one of the subs as well, while we were after that free kick, they did make that change, by the way, Frank. Samuel Palic came on at left back for Sam Abbott. Excuse me. Yeah. That was after that Thomas James free kick. We said they were waiting.
Oh, okay. And Van der Poel has
Van der Poel did go further forward, yeah. Second appearance in Queanbeyan colours for Samuel Palic.
Oh.
And Finbeezy's going to have to chase.
Yeah.
Because the spin...
he was waiting for that to go out, and I'm going, oh no.
Spin almost brought it back to him.
It's there's a real lull coming across the crowd here, Russ. It's like someone's waiting for something to happen here.
Is it the calm before the storm? 20 minutes to go. Tokic beat James Twitt, Miyabayashi. Leveretts showed too much of it to Yardrich, who does likewise to Delahi.
Good run.
Abdurrahim Delahi. Van der Poel, almost.
Good defending though, Spasevsky. If Van der Poel...
Ray's got it back. Seth Bonnets, who's now playing down the middle nominally, sent wide to the left at the moment. Tapped back by Vucetic, and then the first foul was by Seth Bonnets. So no Savkovic at the moment. Petrovsky and Kreskas the others. Michael Piccolo still waiting for a chance for Canberra Croatia. Beasley away. James. Niki Subasic. Rather bulldozed his way past Miyabayashi, then Leveretts. Thought he'd lost the ball twice there, Subasic, but managed to keep hold of it. Marko Yardrich. Ryan Keir. Matt Gerbischer. Not enough pace on that. Miyabayashi. Sun going behind the buildings behind us, and temperature dropping with it.
The lights are on actually, Ross.
They've been on for a while. They're not exactly helpful. That isn't helpful either. Charlie Ray, copping wrong, full in the face from Matt Gerbischer from about 2 yards. That would have been sore for young Charlie Ray.
Yeah, meant to control those, Charlie. Bring them down.
Wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of claret there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there is.
And there is, yeah. Because that caught him on the bridge of the nose from about 2 yards away. And Charlie Ray is going to have a sore one tonight. And I think Matt Gerbischer could do about that. Reminder that tomorrow, Ghana versus Tigers and Tuggeranong versus Ugali.
You got to be. I mean, if you're sitting in Ali Effie's shoes, you've got to be wondering what he's thinking. They beat Canberra Croatia, and then they lose games to teams like that are below them, well below them on the table. And it looks like the substitutions are coming on now. Just wonder if I know
Stephen Kreskas and Marko Savkovic are going to come on.
But if will Ray be able to continue, even though he was a substitute himself?
Well, this is why we're waiting, maybe perhaps to see what the Charlie Ray incident is. Jordan King is asking, well, who's coming off? And quite rightly too. You can't just bring 2 extra players on, Goran.
You can try.
It's going to be Seth Bonnet and, well, it was going to be Miyabayashi. It might still be Miyabayashi.
Yeah.
So Savkovic comes on for Takuya Miyabayashi. Stephen Kreskas for Seth Bonnet. The goal on the half hour. Daniel Sparrow with it. Well, Stephen Kreskas has gone up top. Christian Kreskas scored for Monero. I wonder if Stephen Kreskas can get on the target for Queanbeyan City.
His brother would be pretty grateful, I'd say.
First challenge.
Yeah, welcome.
Charlie Ray.
Good ball.
Look at the space for Van der Poel. kills it beautifully. Delahi lets it run. Abdurrahim Delahi, great block by Ryan Keir. And Matasia comes to win it.
He just seemed to hesitate before he struck it, Russ, and then that gave enough time for Keir to come across and block it. Looks like Spasevsky may be down.
Tony Spasevsky got clobbered by his own goalkeeper. Bit of friendly fire from Jason Matasia. Himself off the ground. Michael Piccolo is the only change left for Canberra Croatia. Spasevsky's recovered. Panthers 3-1 up. I tell a lie, they've scored again. Monero Panthers, and that will surely secure that. Frank 4-1. Big news of that one when we get it. Marko Jadric. Kept in by Niki Subasic. And he can find James. He'll leave it for Niki Jadric. That's a great tackle by Marko Savkovic. Wonderful, wonderful challenge. Mark Gerbischer is not happy with the challenge from Kreskas. Keir. Here's Thomas James. Great first touch. And he's dragged it wide. What a chance for Thomas James. You would have thought that would have been game over.
Yeah.
What a chance.
Bit going on off the ball.
Well, keep an eye on that.
I am. I love watching Matty Gubisa play.
I can tell you that Daniel Barac has scored the fourth goal, unsurprisingly.
Yep.
Another assist for Christian Kreskas. Goal and 2 assists for him today.
And when I say that about Matty Gubisa, it's like that challenge was set up because of something that he saw previously off the ball when Jadric had the ball. And Kreskas was nipping away at him.
A little bit of a coming together. Charlie Ray gets stuck in.
Looks like Piccolo might be coming on.
He certainly is. Either that or he doesn't like his t-shirt much.
He's had enough of the bib.
He's launched the bib at someone.
Orange is at his colour.
Max Green charges that down. I wonder who'll make way. Keir or Vucetic would be the obvious choices. Good Bishop.
Well, you'd imagine like Vucetic really flourished in this period that Michael wasn't at the club. Because I thought last year, that the catalyst for Canberra Croatia doing what they did last year came when Colbertaldo and Piccolo came into the team halfway through the year.
Just to go back to that chance, how surprised were you that after Thomas James' brilliant first touch, he didn't bury it?
Yeah, I thought he opened up his body beautifully. I thought he was going to go far post and curl it in bottom corner, but he just seemed to drag it, didn't he, Russ?
Unlike Thomas James, it is Keegan Vucetic who's going to make way for Michael Piccolo. This is the bench emptied for Canberra Croatia. I think Goran Jozovski will be super pleased with his team's performance here. They're still very much in this match.
Yep.
We've got 12 minutes to play, plus a bit of stoppage time. They're 1 moment of magic away from a leveller. Leverett looking to supply it. Well, I thought he was going to do it on cue.
I'll tell you, it's an interesting scenario now for Queanbeyan City and Goran. They're 1-0 down. If they lose 2 or 3 now, it's 11 minutes or 12 minutes to go, plus stoppages. No one's going to blink an eyelid. But if he throws, some caution to the wind and gets players forward and gets a draw out of this, or even better, he'll get chaired off.
Charlie Ray's just gone for a bit more tissue up the nose. Combative midfielder. Savkovic gets stuck in.
Speaking of combative midfielders.
Thomas James, I think he's offside there. It's a moot point anyway. Finn Beasley. Looks like he's been in that goal for many games. Not for 75 minutes or whatever it is. Kreskus wins a free kick. Savkovic will take.
This is just be patient. Get Tokic into the box. Get Lavella into the box.
Both of them making their way forward. Might be the time to send on the big man, local legend, Vasco Petrovski.
For Daniel Roberts.
He's been waiting for this moment for a long, long time as Vasco Petrovski.
He scored a goal for Queanbeyan City against Monero a few seasons back when I was coaching Monero in the Premier League in a cup match. We won 3-1, but he scored after about 60 seconds. Similar sort of scenario from like this. And it was an amazing header.
Queanbeyan City stalwarts.
Gee, I tell you what, Leverett's in a good spot.
Premier League debut for Vasco Petrovski. And he plonks himself in the penalty area. Is his storyline to get on the end of this? It's bending away. Palic. And he's staying up as an auxiliary striker at the moment. Savkovic got there ahead of Piccolo. Well, wouldn't it be some sort of story if Vasco Petrovski could come up with the equaliser? Kreskus. When Goran Jozefovski was preparing for this game a week ago, I'll bet you would have got good money from him for his front three being Kreskus, Delahi, Petrovski.
I've known Goran a long time, Russ. You wouldn't have got money out of Goran. Full stop.
You would have
got good odds,
yeah.
but you wouldn't have got any. You wouldn't have got any cent out of him, just quietly.
I mean, the chance of it being this front three against Canberra Croatia at High Street, I would guess there wouldn't have even been the staunchest Queanbeyan City fan. I doubt even all three players would have picked it. But it is what it is.
And I'll tell you what, they are now rolling the dice. They might get hit on counter.
James looking to do that.
That's second yellow almost.
That's a pullback, and it's going to be a yellow card.
He's put his...
Is that Armani Lavella?
Yeah.
And he's going to be in trouble here. And it will be a red card on debut for young Armani Lavella. And I don't think Jordan King's got any choice. There's the first. And here will come the subsequent red, you would think.
Has he forgotten? He might have dodged the bullet here. He's forgotten.
Well, he definitely booked him in the first half,
definitely
did he not?
booked him. He definitely booked him in the first half.
Well, that is a bit confusing because I'm sure that is a second. Did we not see that in
Yes.
the first half? Our stats man's there. He would know. Is that a second yellow for the same player? Or is there... I think we're having a look at the book. I wouldn't be surprised if Jordan King looks back and realises this. Armani Lavella almost gave himself up.
Yeah, he did.
When he put his arms in the air. They're having the chat. This is going to result in a red card.
I was surprised that the Canberra Croatia benches or players weren't saying something. Now, obviously, Sparrow, who got his first... The first foul he gave away for a yellow card was on Daniel Sparrow, I believe. So he's not on the field at the moment. So he would, like, Thomas James probably wouldn't have even realised that he's on a yellow.
I think they're going to get there in a minute after a fashion, aren't they? You would hope. And
Not that you hope that a player gets sent off.
No, they'll get it right. And here it comes. Yeah. It took a little bit longer than perhaps it should have. But Armani Lavella is going to get a second yellow card and a red. And, well, they got the right decision. VAR intervened, Frank.
Don't say that, because people think that we are VAR, and we're not.
Do they?
We're not. We're so not.
We don't even have comms with the referees. We just have a notepad in which I write down
just quite, Russ doesn't even talk to me. I just make this up.
Am I even really here, Frank?
No.
You're talking to... You've made me up in your subconscious, which if you have, something bad going in your brain.
I need therapy.
Maybe this is your therapy. Who knows?
Who knows?
Queanbeyan City will end the game with 10. It's an unfortunate end to Armani Lavella. There's been another goal. It's been swung in on. Ryan Keir has turned it over the bar, round the post from about a yard. Dear, oh dear.
And you just wonder if, these chances that Canberra Croatia have are missing in the second half, whether they're going to rue these. I know it's only 5 or so minutes to go and they're playing against 10, but so is that 5-1 out?
It is 5. Stephen Dominici has found his way onto the score sheet. From an assist from Fakedi Manda, which will go down well like a lead balloon. So Panthers 5, 1 up now. Stephen Dominici with the goal.
Interesting, both those teams. When Monero get in a roll, they seem to score for fun. And when O'Connor Knights tend to start conceding, it's like they open the floodgates.
I'm getting questions as well. Wasn't Marko Savkovic sent off last week, was one of the questions? Well, if you were here at the beginning...
Yeah, you got to watch the whole...
Exactly, you would understand. Marko Savkovic, red card was rescinded yesterday. And now he's able to play.
No, he got sent off in the 60th minute, so he only has to...
have to sit out 60 minutes. Then he can play 30
Then
minutes.
he can play, yeah.
Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, we've changed the rules.
That's what he did, right?
Yeah.
Because he came on about that time?
Pretty much.
Shout out to my dad, who's just coming out of hospital. He's watching in the UK. Hope you're okay. Old man, I'll give you a call later.
I should actually shout out to my son, who's celebrating his birthday today too.
And I'll shout out to my sister then, because it was her 50th yesterday.
Well, it was my son's 25th.
Well, there you go. Look at this.
There you go, Russ.
Just chucking it out there. Anybody else want to shout out? But no, my dad's been a bit poorly, and he's had an operation and coming out watching it in hospital, I think. So.
And he's a good man for a Tottenham supporter.
Is he? Okay, fair enough.
Well.
We don't mention that. We don't mention Spurs.
No, he's got nice grandkids.
Yeah. He does have great grandkids.
Not a huge rat for his kids, but...
No, the two girls are terrible. It's always the middle one's the best. Yadrich, James, Tokic gets stuck in. Vasko Petrovski back in his normal habitat of centre-back. And he's found Palic. And after Ryan Keir skewed that one wide, after Thomas James had missed what for him was an absolute sitter, we've got 3 minutes for maybe Queanbeyan City to pull off something special here. But Max Green is going to keep this in, and the chance is on for Croatia to put it to bed. It's Max Green. It might come for Marko Yadrich. That's a fine stop by Beasley. Nicky Yadrich. Queanbeyan back in numbers. Nicky Subasic. Marko Yadrich. Thomas James looking for the return ball. Savkovic was there, and fair play to the young goalkeeper.
He's done really well. That's a really good save, that.
They've wasted some chances to put this to bed, haven't they? The men in whites. How about Charlie Ray's tissue? You can't miss it. Got half a wad of a toilet roll up there. Thomas James taking it to the corner. Yadrich to deliver for Max Green, who got in front. Couldn't divert it goalwards.
He'd be a nightmare to mark, Max Green. He's just like... There was no...
As opposed to Thomas James, Daniel Sparrow and Nick Pradicino.
He had no right to get to that first.
His movement's exceptional.
Yeah.
To get in front of the defenders.
He's a very good athlete, and he's got a good football brain as well.
Well, the 10 men of City. Marko Yadrich was onside. I think James might have been off. Yeah. He will be. Go on, Jozefowski with a meaty ball back to his goalkeeper. Full time over at O'Connor Enclosed. O'Connor Knights 1, Monero Panthers 5. Panthers moving on to 22 points. Be 8 points behind Canberra Croatia. Should it stay this way, as they are at the moment. Now gone on to 37 goals for and 14 against. A healthy goal difference of Monero Panthers. Plus 23. Here's Ryan Keir. Didn't see or hear the arrival of Kreskas.
It's a good ball.
Finds Max Green, who in turn finds Thomas James, who gets his shot away, and another fine save from Beasley. The young goalkeeper stands tall again on debut in difficult circumstances for the 10 men. Great stop.
Outstanding save, wasn't it? Because that was really well struck from Thomas James.
Put that one on your highlights reel, because that's Thomas James.
What, there's a lot of highlight reel to come, I think, Russ. So I think He's certainly stuck his hand up.
Pick this morning. Finn Beasley standing strong, as I mentioned. Here's Marko Jadric. Nicky Jadric. I'll be glad to see him back as we enter stoppage time. Was he brought down by Kreskas? He was.
Probably no need. The ball is going to go out.
Thomas James will be in no real rush to get this.
Subasic can get this next pass if he wants to.
Well, they have committed 4 into the penalty area here, Canberra Croatia. It's a clever little ball. Oh, what a turn from Nicky Subasic, and another good save from Beasley. And again, Nicky Subasic. Comes out for Daniel Subasic. Oh, silky against Petrovski. And away. And here's a chance for Max Green, and again the keeper saves. Spaseski.
Oh.
Free kick goes the way of Canberra Croatia, but Finn Beasley, one-man wall at the moment. What a debut he's having.
He's done brilliantly, but I'll tell you what, that was the... Spaseski obviously got fouled there, but had they just been a little bit less, let's say, physical in that challenge, and they'd won that ball, they actually had a good chance to break.
It was almost 2 or 3 on 1.
Yeah. Back post, Daniel Subasic, back post.
Excuse me, just choking over here in the corner.
No, I don't know.
Thomas James with his free kick. 90 seconds of stoppage time gone. Fires it into the area, Savkovic away. James again. And he hauls down Noah van der Poel. Maybe there's one last chance. Maybe there's a twist in the tail.
That should probably be yellow. If that's in the 80th minute and not the 90s something.
90 seconds. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Marko Savkovic to take. City will send everybody bar Leverett up towards the edge of the box.
This could be their best chance.
As the gloom descends across high streets. Savkovic to launch one. One by Kreskas. Hooked away by Matt Gerdebischer. They could all stay up there. What they would give for a Gay-Bayul long throw right now. They've had to go short with Van der Poel. One back by Marko Jadric. Thomas James can collect for Croatia. Good challenge, Leverett. Lovely block off. That will be a yellow card,
and that's why that previous yellow might have been important.
Thomas James does go in the referee's notebook. If he dodged one a moment ago, well, he wasn't going to dodge one there. It's a clever little block by Stephen Kreskas in there as well. One last chance, take 2.
Tell you what, there's a few nervous looks over on the Croatian side of things here.
Well, it's probably safe to say that the rest of the Premier League are willing this into the back of that net. Marko Savkovic over this free kick to loft it into the danger area. Petrovski shoves someone out of the way to try and get to it.
Some header though.
Nicky Jadric just belts it up the park. And time ticks away. Noah van der Poel. Can Queanbeyan City find a way forward? Petrovski out there. You wonder, have they had all their players today? How they might have gone. Kreskas wins it back. Ray. And now they might get caught.
Yeah. There's a chance for them to get the ball in the box there.
Ryan Keir. Thomas James is onside. He's got Marko Jadric in the middle. And it's come off Noah van der Poel. And Leverett gets rid of it.
Didn't need to panic there.
Savkovic wins the header. So does Ryan Keir.
Must be nearly over.
Well, we're into the 5th minute of time added on. Delahi will run in behind, and he'll get in behind. And he'll find Kreskas, who gets the shot away, but it's not hard enough to test Jason Matasia.
Needed to hang that up, back post.
No press on Nicky Subasic, who plays it off of Leverett, and Croatia edge ever closer to 3 more points. When you win leagues, you've got to win scrappy games. You've got to do things the hard way. They've missed enough chances to put this one confirmed a long time ago. Marko Jadric does brilliantly. Here's Thomas James. Petrovski takes it off his toe. And it will be Canberra Croatia who'll finish on the front foot. Into the 6th minute of time added on. Even if Queanbeyan City get rid of this, I probably think, Frank, that might be the full-time whistle.
Yeah, I'd say so.
They're in no rush to take this corner. They haven't exactly packed the penalty area, but Ryan Keir's wandering in unopposed. Good position by Michael Piccolo on the top of the box here, if they're willing to go there. Marko Jadric is. Here is Piccolo. And he's got it back again. Michael Piccolo seals it for Canberra Croatia. In the 6th minute of stoppage time, off the bench, on the score sheet, and Croatia will go home with all 3 points.
Yeah, and that's like, if you're going to pick a Michael Piccolo goal, that's it. Little 1-2, running off the ball. Didn't fire the first shot, just played himself into a position where he could get it, and then dinked it over the keeper, who's done an amazing job today. And look, on the balance of everything in this game, well-deserved victory from Canberra Croatia, but Queanbeyan City walk off with your heads held high, and the coaching team, Goran and his team, they should be really, really proud of the effort that they put in. But for Daniel Greenwich, the Canberra Croatian machine just rolls on, doesn't it? It's just relentless, Ross.
It was the last kick of the match. The pass from Ryan Keir was wonderful to find Piccolo, and the finish was top class. Frank Asia, thanks very much for your support again this afternoon. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Against Tuggeranong United. Many people already expecting you to come away with 3 points, but these are the kind of games that you can slip up on occasionally. So
100%.
Just be a bit careful. Canberra Croatia, well, this is the kind of game that they might have slipped up on. Only the 2nd time this season Queanbeyan City have been beaten here at High Street. They did it here without 7 of their first team players, Queanbeyan City as well. They were up against it from the beginning, but debutant goalkeeper Finn Beasley was in top class form. He can hold his head up high. Beaten by Daniel Sparrow in the 30th minute, beaten by Michael Piccolo in the 96th, and that in the end is what keeps Canberra Croatia 8 points clear at the top of the table. It's finished Queanbeyan City 0, Canberra Croatia 2.